What's up? What's up? We about to get this party started here in just a moment. All right, all right. Appreciate y'all joining. Go ahead and spread the word. Of course, make sure you go out and subscribe on the YouTube channel, Black Focus Radio. Go out and subscribe to that, please. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers. So I need your help. Spread the word about it as well, okay? I'm going to post a link on Facebook so you guys will have it as well. All right, standing by. All right, all right.
Lost answer to your aggravation. Joy Network.
The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus Radio are not the views and opinions of the station, its management, or its advertisers. Now, let's get ready to focus on our issues, our solutions, using our voices on Black Focus Radio.
Welcome to Black Focus, the show designed with our community in mind, where we focus on our issues, developing our solutions, using our voices. Central Arkansas, surrounding areas, and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-5683. So here's your host, David W. Coleman and Robert Webb.
All right, what's happening? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the show. It's Black Focus Radio, the Monday edition. David Coleman in the house, along with Robert Webb. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 2 p.m. We take you to lunch. We help you digest your lunch. And in some case, we might have you to throw up your lunch. So we just trying to serve everybody. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate everybody joining me. A lot of people are already logging on. Spread the word. Of course, do yourself a favor. Go out to YouTube. Well, do me a favor. go out to YouTube and like and subscribe to the page. I think you'll, and we're trying to get to 1,000 listeners or viewers, okay? So do that for me as well. Let me go ahead and speak to my co-host, Robert Webb. Hey, Robert, how you doing, man?
What's happening, brother?
How was your weekend?
It was a weekend, baby.
What'd you do?
I told you, I chilled.
You chilled?
That's it, baby.
But that sounded exciting.
It was, man. Very exciting.
You know what I did?
Had a very full weekend.
Good. You know what I did?
What's that?
I did the wang dang doodle all night long.
What the hell? What is that, man?
That's
Wang
fun.
Dang Doodle?
You've never heard of that song?
Yeah, who was that?
I forgot who did it. I just thought it was
Wang Dang Doodle.
all night long. That's older but goodie right there.
I want to say B.B. King, but I know.
No, it wasn't. It was a woman singing. I'm gonna have to look it up now, for sure. But well, the weather. I was trying to go fishing. Weather just wouldn't cooperate with the brother, man.
I know how that go, man.
It was just terrible. I mean, it looked like it was gonna rain. It didn't look like it was gonna rain. Then it rained. Then it was lightning and thunder and lightning. And then then after I heard about them folks in Atlanta, I said, nah, I think I'm gonna stay off the water.
No need.
You know,
No need to get out there.
You know, don't want to be out in the middle of a lake with a divining rod in my hand, calling myself, I got the big one, honey.
Yeah, you got the big one. All right.
Yeah. So, but did you hear about what happened at the golf tournament in Atlanta this weekend?
Yeah, man.
Where they,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know what. Apparently, those people were never Boy Scouts because they tell you don't hide under a tree when it's lightning. You know what I'm saying? Come on,
Out
dude.
of the tree, period.
You know, so they took refuge under a tree, and that tree got struck by lightning.
Yeah, that was very smart.
You know, so you need to go back to Cub Scouts or something. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, of course. We'll recap the weekend. And I do want to touch on a little bit on Saturday's show. A lot of people tuned in. I asked the question, who has more courage, NBA players or NFL players? I had a lot of people responding on Facebook about that topic. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. I thought I'd go ahead and bring that to... We teased it on Friday's show for Saturday's show. And then we had such a response on Saturday's show.
You're just trying to milk. You're just trying to milk it. You're just trying to milk it.
It's called radio,
You're
bro.
just trying to milk it.
You know, it's
You're milking
called
it for
radio.
all it's worth.
So we'll talk about that a little bit today as well. And I want to also, and the first subject we'll talk about today after Black Facts, of course, I want to salute a young brother who seized on an opportunity to perform his civic duty and how his actions should make black people pause and re-examine what real power is all about.
Way to go, Jay-Z.
No, it wasn't Jay-Z.
Oh, it wasn't Jay-Z?
No.
My bad.
See, I had moved past the Jay-Z subject, and you brought his name.
How you hate on Jay-Z, man? I'm still baffled how you could hate on Jay.
Well,
99 Problems, player.
and black people ain't one. Anyway.
Yeah, okay. So I'm surprised you don't talk about your boy Roland Martin and his piece of.
You can talk. I saw that, and I didn't have time to look at it, but you can certainly talk about it.
Nah,
as
I don't have anything to say about it. Roland Martin kicked in. Roland Martin.
well,
Roland Martin.
why you gonna bring it up and then you're not gonna talk about it?
What you
That's
gonna
what we
say?
have a radio
What
show
you gonna
for.
say? I mean,
Well, you can get your thoughts together after Black
I
Facts.
have no thoughts for Roland.
Dynamic Black Facts. Our culture, our history, our people.
Okay, this Black Fact is about a black woman. Love me some black women. Chocolate, brown, light-skinned it, dark-skinned it, paper sack brown. You know,
All
just...
shades of black women.
You know, I just love me some black women. And today we're going to talk about the female warrior, Queen Nanny, and her maroon troops. Notice I said troops. Queen Nanny was kidnapped from Ghana, Africa, and forced into slavery in Jamaica as a child. The people of Maroon were enslaved blacks who had fled their plantations and started their own communities. along with her brothers, Queen Nanny, also escaped the misery of slavery. Queen Nanny and her brothers led several revolts, and in the course of 30 years, she was able to free 800 enslaved Africans and settle them in the towns of Maroons. Queen Nanny defeated the British on many occasions, and despite attacks, her settlement, Nannytown, remained under Maroon control for several years before being destroyed in 1934. Jamaica is an island, well, we know what, but basically this happened in Jamaica, and this was the beginning of guess who?
Go ahead.
The dreadlocks.
Oh, really? Okay.
These were the people who, they called them the nasty dreadlocks. Have you ever heard that?
The nasty
It
dreads.
wasn't because they were unclean. It was because they fought like hell. And Queen Nanny was part of that.
That's what's up.
Okay? And that's our black fact for today.
Listening to Black Focus Radio for more dynamic black facts, our culture, our history, our people on JourneyRadio.com.
And don't forget, if you want to sponsor Dynamic Black Facts, call me up at 615-554-0568, and we'll hook you up with a nice ad package. I'll tell you what, if you want to get in on this Little Rock Central broadcast, our first game is tomorrow night. We will be broadcasting live from War Memorial Stadium. The Little Rock Central Tigers are playing the West Memphis Blue Devils, and the Blue Devils are cheating already. And I'm not one to bring that up, but they are. Let me just give you an example. There are 5 players that are now playing for the West Memphis Blue Devils that are 4-star and 5-star players who live in Memphis.
Okay.
Do you get what I just said?
I dig it.
There are, hey, Sylvester Dunbar's listening on at Sam's Barbecue on John Barrow. Tell KK if she's behind the counter, I said hello. There are 4, I think 2 of them are 2-star, 3 are 4-star and 2 are 5-star. And they live in Memphis, but they play for West Memphis.
You say that like that's a bad thing.
It is a bad thing.
Okay.
They live in Memphis. They play for West Memphis.
Okay. You got people who live in Little Rock who play for North Little Rock. You got people who live in North Little Rock play for Little Rock. So I'm missing the point.
Where's Memphis?
It's in Tennessee.
Where's West Memphis?
Right across the border. Right across the street, rather.
Where is West Memphis?
Right across the street.
It's in Arkansas.
And what's your point?
The point is that is
You're one
ill.
of those, Dave. Are you really one of those?
If I may finish.
Get off my lawn! Get off my lawn!
Listen.
You've turned into one of those.
No,
Dave.
I'm not.
Dave, really?
Would you listen, please? Okay.
Okay.
The Tennessee Scholastic Athletic Association ruled these young men ineligible. Okay? Because these young men went and played for a prep school in Tennessee. Okay? Tennessee and Arkansas have 2 different jurisdictions, number 1.
Okay.
All right? So they were ruled ineligible in Tennessee because the zone by which they played for the prep school, then they wanted to go and play for other schools in Tennessee, and the athletic association there said, no, that's illegal. You are now ineligible. So they decide that they would come to Arkansas and play. That's illegal. It should be. But apparently it's not in Arkansas.
So they're not breaking the law in Arkansas.
Well, apparently not. But I'm just saying
You're just saying get off my lawn.
that's a bunch of crap. So
If you got these young cats, man, who want to play football, wherever they play should be cool.
they should play in the zone or the state that they live in. That's almost like saying, okay, I can go to Florida and recruit a quarterback and bring him back to Arkansas. That's illegal. Come on, man, you can't do that.
Okay, so you're saying that there shouldn't be any recruiting in high school football.
There shouldn't be state by state recruiting, no, because
Tennessee, I can see if you were saying the kid lived in Texas and he was playing for West Memphis. That's a bit of a stretch.
okay, wait a minute.
West
Let's
Memphis-
say he lived in Texas and he plays for Texarkana.
Wouldn't be a big deal.
It should be. You don't understand in high school athletics. It should be. Each state has their own jurisdiction. You cannot jump from state to state because you were ruled ineligible based on some facts that are murky. That's my point.
So what you're saying to me is you want a kid not to play sports, not to play football.
I want you to follow the rules.
Are you let me finish? You want a kid not to play football because he lives in Tennessee and he went to a prep school, and Tennessee had these archaic rules that says, hey, you are now ineligible. But Arkansas says, hey, we welcome you. Come over here and play. Now, this might be the one thing keeping these kids in school, man. I can't fault that. Yeah, let that kid come to Arkansas and play sports. Yeah, let him play. Now, again, you get off your lawn. I understand how you feel. Okay, my bad, dog.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, you got a kid who can come to Arkansas and play sports.
If it's under agreeable conditions, yes. Not because there's a reason why they ruled them ineligible.
So why they ruled them ineligible?
Okay.
Give me the background.
Because they were going to the prep school in Memphis.
Okay.
They decided that they no longer wanted to go to the prep school.
Okay.
The prep school has jurisdiction over that area and with the schools that they wanted to attend.
Right.
So because that prep school is in Tennessee and is governed under the Tennessee Athletic Scholastic Achievement, then they have to follow the rules.
So that means that they can't play in Tennessee. They have to find somewhere else to play.
These young boys skirted the rules. That's all I'm gonna say about
so
it.
Let's be clear.
No, let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
At some point, there has to be rules. And if you're going from state to state, why don't we just open up all the states and let's just start recruiting kids from every state? Let's just do that because that's what has happened. If you don't understand that, I'm sorry. That should not happen. Well, I should not be able to go to California and pick a quarterback and have him to come play for Little Rock, regardless of the vicinity.
That is not exactly what's happening. You're talking about a border state.
It doesn't matter the vicinity.
Are you going to let me finish? You're talking about a border state that's less than 10 minutes away from West Memphis.
Don't care.
You can be in West Memphis in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes anywhere in Memphis, maybe 20. Let's say 20 minutes, depending on where you are. And most of these kids are living, down in the hood, the neighborhoods, the black neighborhood. So it's even quicker than that for them. So why should we penalize these kids because of what the Tennessee Scholastic or whoever the crap they are?
It's not their fault. It's the kids' fault who decided.
How's it
because they were the ones who decided that they wanted to go to that prep school.
So why'd they go to the prep school?
I have no idea. They were the ones who decided that they were going to go to the prep school, and for whatever reasons why they left, that's on them. But the rules should be the rules.
So let me ask you this: are the kids still 16 and 17? Are they 21-year-olds?
They're high school eligible.
Well, if they're high school eligible, why is it an issue, Dave?
Well, because they should have stayed in Tennessee.
Is it a problem because they're playing Central and they're 4 stars?
Well, it's a problem.
It's problematic, right?
Because
it is problematic.
Let's say we're bordered by.
What positions are they playing?
We're bordered by Tennessee. We're bordered by Mississippi. We're bordered by Louisiana. We're bordered by Texas. We're bordered by Oklahoma. So we're bordered by 5 different states.
No, 7.
Oh, well, 7. Oh, well, 7. The point is that let's just say schools from other states start coming into the state of Arkansas.
And they do it. A few years ago, you had a guy who was from Oklahoma. I think he was from not Sallisaw, but it was right across the border. I want to say maybe Adele, and he played for Fort Smith Northside, I think it was.
And he probably skated the rules as well. So
Dave, like I said, Dave, get off my lawn, man. What's up, Jay?
What's going on, man?
How's
All
it
your
going?
word, man. Hey, Cowboy Nation, we good.
What is David fussing about?
Get off my lawn, man. Get off my lawn. You boys, get off my lawn.
They're cheating already.
How are they cheating? These are kids. These kids are not sophisticated enough to come up with a way to figure out, you know what, we can just go to West Memphis and play. Somebody came up with that idea for them. But here we are. We're going to punish the kids, though, right? Yeah, that's how the NC2A is. Always punish the lowest one. Punish the one who has the least control. And Dave is buying into that. I would have never thought Dave Coleman, my co-host, my partner, my brother, would have ever bought into that nonsense. I can't believe that, JC.
There you go.
Say it one time, Dave. Get off my lawn. Just say it one time.
You better be glad the illustrious leaders as I say something bad.
I stopped in to tell you for the Central game, I just got a sponsor.
Woo!
game for, let me see, player, we can do player. First of all, they're going to feed, it's Margot's Pizza.
Okay.
All right.
And they're going to feed everybody in the press box. Okay.
I'll be in the press box.
Yeah. Bring pizza for everybody in the press box. And they'll do player of the game,
Okay.
offense, defense, and lineman.
Ooh!
Dang.
All right.
Of each game.
That's what's up.
Sounds like a winner to
And
me.
if you want to give away some extras, they'll do that too. So.
All right, well, we'll definitely be talking about that later on. By the way, did y'all hear we broadcast Little Rock Central?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Did you?
Yeah, we heard
I don't know why you trying to bust my chops while I'm trying to defend my school, Robert.
Never tried.
What's up with that,
our
man?
school, man. That's our
I
school.
don't care.
That's our school.
Well, you need to get on the, you need to get, I'm going to trump you. Get with the program or get out.
There's no such thing as trumping. You know that, right? That's over with. We're done with that.
Hey, get with the program or get
All
out.
right, cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
So I don't know what your problem is, man.
Punish the lowest.
You know, but anyway, so we are broadcasting the first game tomorrow from War Memorial Stadium, but the rest of the games, 5 more, will be coming from Quigley Stadium. So we are really excited about that. My boy Sylvester Dunbar. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that button. My boy Sylvester Dunbar said you need to be careful about saying get off my lawn. Remember what happened in Wynne, Arkansas a couple of weeks ago.
That's Dave. That's Dave. Pulling the gun on the little kids. Go back across the state line.
Yeah, see. Yeah, they need to go back across the state line. Let me get this broadcast back up. I'm sorry I cut you guys off, but Robert just was getting on my nerves today.
Now it's me.
You know, Robert was getting on my nerves. Now watch it won't. Oh, there we go. I'm
Now
sorry
it's
about
me.
that.
Now it's
okay.
me.
So anyway, we talked about the broadcast. Tell you what, let's go ahead and
What you got, man? What you got?
let's talk a little bit about. I see which way I want to go first.
Uh-oh.
We did Black Facts.
Uh-oh.
Let's talk a little bit about the young brother in South Carolina this weekend. So, what did you eat this weekend, Robert?
Pardon me?
What did you eat this weekend?
No, I don't remember.
Did you eat any fast food?
I think I ate Sonic one day.
You ate Sonic.
Yeah.
Did you eat any Popeyes?
You know what? Actually, I did eat Popeyes Friday.
Was it a Popeyes chicken sandwich?
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
So you actually stood in line for a chicken sandwich?
Nah, I just went through the drive-thru.
Oh.
It wasn't that great, by the way.
Well, as you all know, that this Popeye chicken sandwich has been crazy the last few days.
What's up with the whole thing anyway? What's
It's
the deal?
stupid. It really is.
So where
But
did it come
it's. I don't know where it
I
devolved.
must say it's a great marketing strategy, though.
They're not marketing, and we're marketing, and that's the point I'm about to bring up here in just a moment. Okay, over the weekend, and right here on Broadway, I drove by the Popeyes, not purposely, but just driving by, and sure enough, the drive-through window it was packed.
It's always like that.
I've seen videos of people fighting in Popeyes because of these chicken sandwiches. Just utterly preposterous. So someone tabulated the cost of this free PR campaign that black people are giving Popeyes, because the majority of the people who are doing this are black people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And black people seem to believe that Popeyes is owned by black folks.
And it's not.
Yeah.
This campaign was worth $23 million. You hear what I'm saying? So all of you out there who was running back and forth to Popeyes and posting these things about this sandwich, you all basically saved Popeyes $23 million. And I don't know how much a sandwich is costing, but based on the number of people that were acting a fool over these damn sandwiches, they made a mint just over the last 4 or 5 days. Okay? So from this point on, black people, don't tell me you can't spend money and you can't market. All right? Because you can market whatever you want to do. But the problem is, here we go again, you marketing stuff for other people and they making money, you acting a damn fool, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. Okay?
I keep telling you, David, I'm going to tell you one last time. I ain't going to tell you no damn more.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
black folk, we don't want you to treat us like a nigga. We just don't. We want you to treat us like a nigga. We just don't want you to call us one.
Ain't that something? But that's profound.
That's it.
Because that's exactly what that was happening. I was in amazement how post after post after post was about this chicken sandwich. And then you ask the question, tell me, what black business did you go to? There are black businesses who make chicken sandwiches. Look, all it is a piece of chicken and 2 pieces of bread. All right? I was amazed. But the one thing that really stood out for me this weekend, that gave me hope, was a young brother. His name was David Ledbetter, 17 years old.
Okay.
And let me make sure I have his town. It was in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, to be precise. He went to a Popeyes with his pen, pad, and voter registration cards. And as these people stood in line for this stupid chicken sandwich, David Ledbetter, a young black 17-year-old kid, understood exactly the power of black people, and he went and registered them to vote. That's what I'm talking about. It didn't give me a number of how many he registered, but he's a high school senior, all right? And I just want to, and look, check this out. He's not even 18 yet. He can't even vote.
Yeah, I get that.
You see, so this young man, when you hear about this story, we really need to re-examine what we're doing with our dollars.
I don't disagree.
Maybe I'm a little sensitive about this, but I'm tired.
Why are you
say what you just said again, because what you said about don't be called.
Black folks don't mind being treated like a nigga. They just don't want to be called one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true though.
And as I watched this unfold over the weekend, I was just appalled. And then of course people are fighting in Popeyes over sandwiches. Are y'all serious? Some of you Negroes won't fight for voting. Some of you Negroes won't even get your butts up out and go vote. But you fighting over a chicken sandwich that you got to pay $6 for? Are y'all serious? Man, I'm going to tell you, man, over the weekend, I almost did a Robert. I almost said, hey, I'm done fighting for y'all. I did. Man, I was that close because I'm appalled. And you know what brought me back was David Ledbetter. When I read the story about David Ledbetter, I said, man, see, that's why I'm out here doing what I do. Because David Ledbetter believes in what we're trying to get accomplished. Man, I'm upset about this. It just doesn't make any sense. Are you serious? $23 million in free advertising over a chicken sandwich that you don't get anything except a bite and a so butt when you poop? Come on.
I don't understand it. Now I can see if black folk had some stock in it, then that would make perfect sense to me. But I don't get it.
I just don't. Now people say, well, you talking about it on the show. Well, I'm talking about it to make a point. That we are so damn confused about our priorities that we'll go give free advertising for a chicken sandwich. Yet we won't go spend $5 at a black business. If I ask all of those people that were lined up at those Popeyes all over the country, if I asked them how much money did you spend at a black business this week, I would argue that 90% of them wouldn't have spent one dime.
I wouldn't disagree.
You know what? I don't particularly care for pork chops, fried pork chops. But you know what I do every now and then? I go up to T. Hall's and get a fried pork chop dinner. K. Hall's and get a fried pork chop dinner. I like hoagies. You know where I sometimes go and just get a hoagie?
What?
I go right over here on High Street to Uncle T's, man.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You have to make a conscious effort to spend money with black people. This makes no sense to me, folks. Just like my brother Seal right now. He's up at Sim's Barbecue. You got to make a conscious effort to spend money. Don't tell me you can't spend money. Don't give me no excuse. You Negroes were in line. Let me ask you, how many of y'all got bad service at Popeyes this weekend? All of y'all.
Dave, calm down. You can't have a heart attack. You gotta do
And the first thing y'all say is, well, I don't go to black business because I get bad service. Well, all you Negroes were in line. Some of y'all were in line for an hour. Come on now. The reason you end up fighting because you got bad service. Some of y'all were fighting because they ran out of chicken sandwiches. Are y'all serious? Yeah. What is wrong with us?
Yeah, that's true, Dave. You cannot be upset about this. Our people need something. I think sometimes, man, they need something just to get away, just to get away from the monotony of being black. And so maybe this gave them an opportunity to do that. But like I said, man, I have learned that in America, black folks, we don't want to be called nigga, but feel free to treat us like one. We cool with being treated like a nigga. We just don't want you to call us one.
Man, that is just so profound. That's just so profound, man, because, oh man, I sat there and as I saw all of those memes coming across, and I was just thinking to myself, man, just think if we had that kind of turnout at the polls. So, I was thinking, I think I'm going to serve chicken sandwiches at the polls.
It's not going to help.
You don't think so?
No.
What if I serve Popeyes chicken sandwiches?
Not going to help.
What if I serve Popeyes chicken sandwiches with a biscuit?
But you got to remember, though, the whole thing we have in this conversation, when we start talking about voting, that's a totally different animal than talking about a damn chicken sandwich. Let me tell you why I say that. Because when we talk about voting, and I understand why some people don't vote, because voting, we haven't given people a reason to vote, right? So by giving them a reason, let's identify the issues in the community that can be addressed, and we don't do that. If I'm black and my light's off and I'm having a hard time finding a job and you want to talk to me about health care, I don't give a damn about health care. I need a job so I can take care of my kids.
Until I can't pay for my insulin.
Even then, it don't matter. Because we always find ways to get that. We always find ways to get that.
Latoya said it started because a guy was sitting in his car singing a gospel song about how good the chicken sandwich was. So good. So he's made up a gospel song about a chicken sandwich. Now, let me just tell you what he did. If he's that damn good, he just gave away his IP for free.
Yeah.
You get that, right?
But the thing is, next time before y'all decide to do that, let me know what y'all gonna do so I can buy some of the stock.
He just gave away his intellectual properties for free. So Popeyes made millions of dollars because an idiot was singing a gospel song about that chicken sandwich and didn't understand the power of his intellectual property. I know that sounds mean, but that's a fact.
It's not uncommon, Dave. It often happens in our community. We don't understand the value of marketing. We don't understand how that impacts a company's bottom line. We don't understand that.
I hope you're going to Popeye's corporate office and saying, hey, look, this is what I generated for y'all. I need to get paid. You know what they're going to do now? You stupid idiot.
As long as they don't call him a nigga, they good.
No, they won't call him that. They'll call him that after he walks out. They'll call him a dumbass nigga.
Yeah, after he walks
I'm just being real here. I don't mean to be mean here, but see, we got to understand something. While y'all are laughing about what went on at Popeyes and this chicken thing, you got to understand the underlying implications here. Is that $23 million in free advertising revenue was generated by a guy, a black guy singing a gospel song, and nobody in the black community got one damn penny.
1 cent.
Not one penny. And you got bad service. But the first thing you want to say is, when you go to a black business, is that we get bad service.
Yeah, but it's okay if we get bad service from white people. It's not okay when we get bad service from black people.
That's the first thing you say. I hear it all the time. Every time, man, you got to go, well, they give bad service. Well, I bet, how many of y'all were standing in line at Popeyes this weekend? You got bad service. You're going back, aren't you? And you know what? Some of y'all didn't even get a chicken sandwich. You're mad, but you're going to go back anyway just to try it and still get bad service. Don't get out of here with your mess here. I don't want to hear it no more. You are the enemy of us. I don't mind you. I'm not saying don't shop at other businesses. I'm just saying give black people a little piece of the pie. Come on, man.
give black people a piece of something they don't want? I'm asking, Dave, how are you gonna do that? How do you surmise we do that?
Lord have mercy.
I need to know, Dave.
I don't know, man. Apparently we don't want it. Apparently we are afraid to be free. I'm beginning to wonder, is that what it is? We're afraid to be free? Freedom, that proclamation of freedom is too scary for us. Maybe we can't handle it. Maybe we don't understand what's happening.
So.
This makes no sense. LaTanya makes a good point. The same thing happened with Patti LaBelle pies. But the only difference in Patti LaBelle, at least Patti LaBelle got some of that money. So that did go to a black woman, some of it. But for this chicken sandwich, ain't nobody black getting paid but Popeyes.
Makes perfect sense.
This makes no sense, man. This is just crazy. I mean, you saw the power of your dollars this weekend. You saw it. This has been going on now. I think it started like last Wednesday or Thursday. It's been going on that long. And if you go out to Facebook right now, there are memes all up and down the wall as it relates to this issue. What I don't understand, folks, is why you can't do that for a black business. I mean, this makes me scratch my head. See, I knew the power was there. I already knew that the power of black dollars. I've known that. We all know that who work out in the community. The key is, how do we get you to understand the power that you have? Because if you can marshal forces like that, just think what would happen if you would get behind some of the critical issues that are going on in your community every day, like schools here in Little Rock, like prison reform. What would happen? And that young brother, David Ledbetter, showed us that, hey, here's something we can get out of this. Hey, let me go out here and register some people to vote. He showed us that, hey, here's the power that we have as a community. He saw it. He's 17 years old. It's just crazy. I don't know. I got a little melancholy over the weekend. I just couldn't believe it, Robert. My dauber was down a little bit.
Shouldn't be that way, bro.
I had a coach who said, "Don't get your dauber down."
Shouldn't be that way, bro.
I believe in our community. I believe that we can change the condition of our community. Notice I didn't say government. Notice I didn't say lobbyist. I said we. Because the only way we're going to change our community is that we're going to have to change our communities.
Who are you going to change it with? And if you're truly going to change the community, we're going to have this conversation. You're not going to be happy.
Robert, I don't need you up in here today being a wet blanket.
I'm not being a wet blanket.
Okay?
I'm just being a black man. So, Dave, you want to change your community? Mm-hmm. All right, let's go then. Let's put that change in motion. Mm-hmm. Let's take 5 minutes. Just 5, Dave. It's 12:36. At 12:41, I'm going to be done. So, Dave, we're going to change your black community. What's the first thing you need to do?
Education of self.
Okay, Dave. You're not going to have a black community.
Okay. You asked me the first thing.
You're not going to have a black community. What, you going to educate them on Facebook? Because they don't read.
Okay. Sure, we're gonna educate them on Facebook. Yeah, let's use a medium today. Okay, here we go. What's next?
I'm asking you, what's next?
I just told you. You said 5 things, so
okay.
what's your next thing?
So you educate them on Facebook, that's
right.
one. Educate them on Facebook, that's one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2?
I said educate them of self. Because once I educate you of self and you understand self, then you will start moving towards the goal of self-empowerment.
Okay, I like that. Education of self was number 2.
Okay. Get them out of churches.
Oh, damn. You just killed it, then. Dave, how you plan to do that, Dave? You only got 4 minutes.
Because education of self will make them realize that that's probably not where we need to be in order to move forward.
Today, God told them that it's going to work. How you going to come? Who are you, Dave? Who are you to say that God is wrong?
Okay.
I'm serious, Dave. I'm just asking the question now.
Let me just go see, because you about to,
No, seriously.
you about to tick me off, Rob.
How?
You are really pushing me today. I had a great weekend. You know, it was nice and, you know, quiet, you know, prepared for the big broadcast. So let me just go down here.
Yeah.
So you gonna
How
make
are you
me-
going to compete with God, Dave? You can't. You tell them the church is bad, they saying God is right.
I'm just going to read something to you. Just
God is
hang on.
always right, Dave. I'm waiting for
Let
you to find it, Dave. I want to hear it. You
Okay.
ready? Okay.
Horus. You ever heard of Horus?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Okay. He was an Egyptian god. He was worshipped 2,200 BC.
Okay.
He was born of a virgin. He had 12 disciples. Healed the sick and injured. Resurrected from the dead. Azar translates to Lazarus. Where have we heard the name Lazarus?
Wow.
Crucified, then resurrected after 3 days, known as the Lamb, the Way, and the Light. When I educate you of self, then you're going to come along. Anything else you need, sir? You want to go there with me?
Dave, hold on, Dave.
You want to go there with me?
Let's stay here for a moment.
Okay.
I'd rather stay here for a moment. So, Dave, this story is no different than the story of God in the Bible. So, what's your point, Dave?
The point is that this story was the beginning.
The beginning.
Right. The story that we know of today was a copy. It was 220 years later.
So, okay, let me make sure I understand what you're saying here. You're saying that this story, the one that you just read, is the original story,
Which
but
is-
the one that I read in my Bible is not
Which is written in stone.
written in stone, just like the Ten Commandments.
No.
I'm asking the question there because I don't
No.
know. You educate me.
Where are those stone tablets for the Ten Commandments?
They haven't found them yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this story is written in the hieroglyphics on Egyptian and Sudanese pyramids. Thank you, sir.
And so you saying that this story is true and the other one is not.
I'm simply saying that either one of them is problematic.
Why is that? Why are they problematic, Dave?
Okay, because actually all of this was borrowed from the Temple of Maya. So we're getting real deep here, but anyway.
No, Dave. I need to understand.
So the Ten Commandments
If you're gonna save
actually.
your people, Dave. If you're gonna save your people, if you're gonna bring them through the Red Sea, you're gonna party player.
No,
you
that
need to.
never happened.
Huh? Come on, Dave. How you gonna say that never happened? How do you know that never happened, Dave? Well, what scientific data do you have to prove that never happened?
What scientific data do you have to prove that it did?
The Bible, Dave. The damn Bible.
Who wrote that Bible?
Two guys from England.
There you go.
So, Dave, what's your point, though? Dave, you cannot prove it does not exist, Dave. You can't prove it didn't happen. You can't prove Moses stick his scepter down in the water and the water parted and he took his people home. Come on, Dave. How can you prove that? Come on, Dave. Seriously.
How can you not prove it?
Dave, we know that we know where the Red Sea is, correct?
Right.
Okay.
So let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna end this conversation.
Okay.
Okay. The children of Israel wandered in the wilderness for 40 years looking for the land of Canaan.
The children of Israel wandered for 40 years. Okay, correct.
You
Please
know-
continue.
Do you know how far Canaan was from that original story?
No, how far?
4 miles.
And why they wander 40 years? Did they have a compass?
Good question.
Did they have a compass?
Good question.
So is that supposed to have some kind of significance? Is that what you're saying? It has significance in some way?
In other words, it makes no sense.
So Dave, so what you're trying to say is that
So
to save your people,
we
you have to
have-
get them out of the church.
we have to educate
You say your people
them.
can't be saved if they're in the church.
We have to educate
Dave,
them.
are you saying your people can't be
You
saved
can be
if they're in the
spiritual,
church? In the
but
church?
based on what has taught us, it's taught us to be passive. We're the only passive people in America.
Wait, Dave. No, stop it now.
When the last time you
Black
turned the
people
other
are
cheek?
passive. So what?
When the last time you turned the other cheek?
When last time I did what?
You turned the other cheek.
For? What are you talking about?
Exactly. It's taught us to be passive. It's taught us to wait. Wait.
Wait for the man.
Exactly.
Well, Dave, is that a bad thing?
Is it a good thing?
Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing to wait? We're always taught to be patient, right?
Yeah.
Be patient and wait for things to
You ever heard of being
materialize.
actively patient?
Active, there's no such thing as being. Those two words don't go together.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. How can you be actively patient?
Because how can you be actively patient?
Yeah.
That while you're waiting on one thing, you are pursuing something else. That's called being actively patient.
That's called BS. There's no way to be actively patient. That's like saying, hey, you know what? I am actively inactive. There's no such thing.
That makes no difference.
Exactly.
That makes
Exactly.
you actively inactive.
I'm actively inactive.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You ever been unemployed?
Yeah. How can I say I'm employed but I'm
Wait a
unemployed?
minute. Have you ever been unemployed?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you apply for one job?
No.
You applied for a lot of jobs while you were unemployed, didn't
No, I don't remember. I don't think I applied for but two.
you? You applied for two.
Yeah.
So you were actively patient.
No, I
Because
wasn't
you-
actively
because-
patient. I was currently unemployed.
So you were
I was currently
so you
unemployed.
weren't waiting on that first job you applied for, were you?
Oh, so that's how you rationalize it, right?
Were you?
That's how you rationalize it.
Were
That's
you?
cool. That's fair. That's
Okay.
fair. That's fair.
You went out and applied. You put in another application,
That's
didn't you?
fair. That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
So you
But it's
were
still-
actively patient.
But it's still crazy as hell.
Okay. Well,
still crazy.
well,
Because how can I be actively inactive?
I didn't say
How
you
can
were
I be
actively.
actively-
Those are two
actively
different
patient?
things.
I'm actively patient right now.
You're
I'm
actively getting on my nerves right now, but I'm being
And you know
patient.
what? Okay, I'm 2 minutes over my time. I didn't even get the two of them.
What you mean? Right, because you kept trying to.
No, because
Okay.
the thing is that you have this. You have. I am of the mindset that black folk, we are where we are because of no one else other than ourselves.
I agree. To some degree, I would
To
agree
some
with that.
degree. Because if you want better, if we want better, then we have to figure out a way to play Monopoly. And we ain't trying to figure out how to play Monopoly.
You know why? Because we don't know who the hell we are.
That ain't the only reason. I know for a fact I'm hungry, right?
Uh huh.
And I know I need to get something to eat, right? Now, believe me, I've been in a position where you don't know how to get food or how you're supposed to get out there and make it happen. I get that, right? But if we're not actively seeking a way to find out how to do that, then we're having problems. And right now, we got a lot of problems, man.
I agree.
And I think our biggest problem is that we are not. I mean, I understand what you're saying about lack of self, but I also think we have a problem when it comes to understanding how to matriculate through the system.
So how am I going to understand how to matriculate through a system when I don't even understand who I am?
Well, understanding who you are won't help you matriculate through the system. If you don't learn the system, it don't matter. If you can know who you are all day, and if you don't know how to matriculate your way through the system, it don't matter.
Knowledge of self requires you to learn, period.
Yeah, but I think
You get that,
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm not disagreeing with you. But my point is that especially when you start talking. Okay, so just look at it this way. So let's break down a typical black neighborhood. You ready? So if you go in a typical black neighborhood, there are some things that are seriously lacking. Usually you don't have grocery stores. Usually you have a lot of abandoned houses. Usually you have a lot of vacant lots. Usually you don't have a movie theater. Usually don't have clothing stores. If you look through a black neighborhood, there are a lot of things that are absent, right? Now, a thinking person would say, I need to figure out a way to build a house. I need to figure out a way to get a movie theater. I need to figure out a way to do these things because these things are not in my community. I need to figure out a way to get them. But the mentality is, oh no, I ain't gonna be there because these Negroes gonna come tear it up. You don't know if you never put anything there. You never know that. And that's always the...
What is menticide?
That's it right there. That's it right there. They're gonna
So-
come tear this, they're gonna come tear
So
that stuff up.
in order to exorcise the menticide that has affected you, the first thing you got to do is know yourself. You got to study your history. You got to know where you came from to know where you're going. Now that shouldn't take decades to do because it's easy because once you begin to realize who you are, there'll be more and more evidence showing up that's saying, hey, I was right. Now you can start moving forward on your economic development plan. Because right now, you're right, Robert, there's no economic development in our cities, in our communities. And what we say, and we're more than happy to load up, gas up our cars and drive to other communities and make money You know, there's a reason why neighborhoods die when schools close. You know why? Because all of those people that are coming into that neighborhood, they are picking up their children. If there are convenience stores, they're buying gas at those places. They're buying fast food places at those places.
I agree.
And that area is thriving because of that school. Once that school dies, that neighborhood dies. I saw what happened to Mitchell over on 24th and Battery. The same thing is happening over at Franklin.
Same thing happened with Rice.
At Wrightsdale, it happens. So my point being is this, is that until you understand yourself, you'll understand that no, I'm not going to let this die. Let's work together to build this. Right now, we're too busy running out to Chenal. I've said over and over again, I've seen the enemy and he is we. He's we. Because it does, after seeing what happened with this chicken sandwich over the weekend, we should be ashamed of ourselves. We should be ashamed of ourselves because that money that we allow Popeye to make at our behest, think about it, that's $23 million of advertising. Think about that. How much money did they make just selling the sandwich? You see what I'm saying? And not none, and I'm sorry for the double negative, but none of that money went into our communities. And we should be ashamed.
But that's common.
It shouldn't be common. Stop telling me it's common. Let's do something about it.
How, Dave? I keep asking you that. How? These people don't understand the power of economics. If they did,
doomed,
we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here having this conversation.
If that's the case, we are doomed. We really are. You know, I just don't understand this. It makes no sense to me. And maybe I'm, and I don't think I'm being too philosophical on this point. I'm like you. I want our community. I want to be proud of my community that I grew up in, just like you're proud of Chenal or wherever the case may be. I don't want people coming in and looking at look, I'm tired of driving into cities and I know when I transition from a black community to a white community or vice versa.
But again,
I'm tired of that.
I know, but again,
a lot of this is our fault.
All of that, yeah. Let's say 50-50. Because we have to understand what's happening in our community. Now, see,
I can only abuse you if you let me abuse you.
Again, I told you, black people say, hey, you know what? Don't call me a nigga, but you can treat me like one. And I see it every day. And so, Roland Martin said something yesterday. And the whole thing, I mean, while I say Marcellus Wallace, what he said was crazy, but it fits into what we're talking about now, right? Because here we are, we're having conversations about how our communities look and how they operate. And in our communities, there's this hierarchy in our community, right? So you got your black elected official, then you have whoever else we decide we want to have there, and whoever else we want to have there. You just come all the way down, right? Well, if you look around these black communities, there's no conversation about how we repair these communities. Now, in most cases, every black elected official live in the very neighborhoods we're talking about. Every last one. How do they not have one plan that they collectively work on? Why do they not have one plan that addresses the issues of the black community? Now, people say, well, Robert, how do you know what the issues of the black community are? Nigga, go read the census data. If you don't know, just read census data. If you don't know, just drive through. Blight, you got blighted houses. You got crime. Unemployment, you got a messed up education system. And the majority of black folks are in this messed up education system. Now, people say, now when we get to the point we delineate between them black folks and us black folks. See, that's where it get crazy right there. Between them and us, right? Mm-hmm. Because you got the David Coleman black folks, then you got the Robert Webb black folks. And then people say, hey, the David Coleman black folk, they doing everything they can to help the Robert Webb black folk, but he just ain't trying to do no better. But that's not true. Because the David Coleman black folk, unfortunately, they the bougie ones. They the bougie ones. They the ones that say, get off my lawn, you little black bastards. Get off my lawn. Right? And we're not working collectively as a group to try to improve.
That was really mean of you, Robert.
I'm sorry, my bad.
You hurt my feelings.
My bad, dog. No, I didn't. You know you down with that.
You sure didn't.
And that's my point. I mean, just like tonight is 6:30 at Roberts Elementary. They're gonna have this thing where they're gonna talk about what they're gonna do with the Little Rock School District. And let me tell you what's uncomfortable for me, right? I am never comfortable when a group of white people tell me what they're gonna do to me. I'm never comfortable with that because it never bodes well for me, right? Black folks, white people have sat around and they said, "Hey, listen, we got to do something to fix the Little Rock School District. We got to do something. What are we gonna do?" I don't know. Let's think about it. And let's have a couple of meetings. Well, when this is what people fail to realize: when they come to give you the meeting, it's already decided.
Yeah.
They just want you to understand that they got people in the crowd who are gonna come up and say, "Well, we think you ought to reconstitute school district."
Well, let me ask you a question. With that being said, Robert, why are you mad?
Why am I mad?
Why would we be upset, considering the fact that we don't get involved in the process anyway?
That's a good point.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a very valid point.
We talk all the time. Your power is in your dollars.
Yeah.
So
everybody contributes to the Little Rock School
Right.
District, whether you got a kid in there or not.
I agree.
Every time you go renew your tags, your money goes to the school district.
Yep.
Every time you do your real estate taxes, the mills go to the school district.
Yep.
There is nothing you can do and those mills not go to the school district or the state or the city government. That money goes to them. You are a stakeholder whether you want to be or not.
All right.
You are a stakeholder.
So the bottom line is this: is how do we have a chicken sandwich approach? See, because that's the key. Because until we understand our power,
I think the first thing
this ain't gonna change.
The first thing you have to do is you have to identify people who are out there doing the good work in the community. You have to identify them,
Okay.
right? And once you identify them, then you have to ask them, "Hey, I need you to run for office. We need you to run to address the issues, blah, 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 blah." We have to become more strategic about how we go after our elected officials.
All right. So if you had someone that you wanted to identify today, who would that be?
Somebody wanted to identify who's out there doing good work.
Exactly. That's my point.
Well, Anika does some good work. She does some good work. I'm not saying she doesn't do a lot of good work. She does.
Oh, well, Anika does, Dr. Whitfield.
She
That's
does
good.
some good work. Russ does some good stuff. Ian sometimes kinda. Ian's kinda in there. I can't think of a lot of people. But when I say good work, though, the thing is that you can't do good work if you don't know how the system works and you don't understand the ins and outs of the system. That's problematic. Because again, people have to realize if you elect a guy who says he's gonna get stuff done for you and he ain't got but one vote, he lying to you. Because he ain't got but one vote.
But that made me feel good.
It made you feel good, but it's a lie. Because he ain't got but one vote.
That's what Obama
So anytime
did.
somebody tells you, I'm gonna get
Obama
stuff
made
done,
me feel good.
he lied to you. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry.
I can't believe you said that.
I'm sorry,
Obama did not lie to his people.
Obama misled you, Dave.
He didn't mislead me. I knew exactly what it was
Obama misled you. I think he really wanted to do some good
But
stuff.
you hear,
It just didn't happen.
but see, here's the problem you have, and I've said this over and over again.
Okay.
Who are the main people that run for offices in the black community?
I don't know who.
Preachers.
Not all of them.
I didn't say all.
Just your mayor. Your mayor's a preacher, of course. Who else you talking about, Dave?
I'm just
Your
running.
police chief, I think. Is he a police chief or maybe a mayor? I mean, is he a preacher?
I'm just saying.
But he's going to be here September 3rd, so y'all tune in and check it out. It's going to be interesting. It's gonna be
Yeah,
an
that's
interesting
real
conversation.
interesting. But I'm just saying overall is that we have to have a diverse type of people. Look, everybody can't be willing to turn a cheek.
I don't think everybody's willing to turn the cheek. I think there's a lot of people who are turning the cheek, but when
Or
we
turn up their cheeks.
yeah, but we got too many issues in the black community to be divided right now. We can't be divided. We gotta be one body,
And that's my point.
one mind, one soul.
That's why that young man, David Ledbetter, and that chicken sandwich story about him going out and registering people to vote is so profound. is that young black man, that 17-year-old kid in Charlotte, South Carolina, who saw an opportunity to educate his brothers and sisters on the political process is profound.
Registering somebody to vote and getting them out to vote is two totally different things. They don't give a damn how many people you register. Are they going to vote?
Why you hating on that young brother, man?
Because, you know what? Because what bothers me,
Well, wait a minute.
You know,
if you never register them to vote, then there is never the opportunity for them to vote.
I'm not saying that.
I can't believe you hating on a young black brother. 17 years old, performing his civic duty, and you throwing shade at that young brother, Robert.
I got love for David Ledbetter.
Man,
I got number love for him.
Okay.
Got number love.
Okay. But
I'm gonna say this one more time. But I'm gonna say this one more time. But I'm gonna say this one more time. One more time. I'm gonna say this one more again. All of your black elected officials live in the very neighborhoods. That we have all the crime.
So wait a minute, before you go,
that we have all the blight.
Are you saying that those black elected officials are being paid off by the man?
Am I saying that?
Is that what you're saying? They live in those neighborhoods. They see the blight. They see the crime. They see all the death and destruction. Yet nothing changes. Are you saying that black elected officials are being paid off by the man?
Am I saying they're being paid off?
By the man?
No, I'm not saying they're being paid off.
Well,
but let me say this though. Let me say this. Black folk, how many campaigns have you contributed to lately? That's my point, right? Your elected officials.
I can't believe you said black elected officials are being paid off by the man.
I ain't say that, man. Stop putting words in my mouth. Black elected officials get their money from
who?
They don't get it from black folks.
The man! Oh, Lord! God, see, you took us all around by Sally's house just to take us back by the man. That's what you just did.
I've run 3 campaigns. The thing I know is that if you try to get your money from black folks, you won't raise very much. Because now, while there are some black folks who contribute to campaigns, overall, they're not enough that you can fund a campaign, right?
So you got your money from the man.
I didn't get any money from the man. I think I raised less than $5,000 for my last campaign because I didn't get any money from the business community. None.
You sure you didn't get your money from the man?
I got none.
How much campaign money did you have left over?
None. I only raised $5,000, dog. Yeah. I got none. I still owe debt. I still owe Arkansas Times $1,200 a thing. Yeah, I didn't get any money from anybody else, man. Knock on wood, because I want to work for the people when I go to work. And if I get money from them, I got to touch their water.
I thought you said you weren't working for the people anymore.
I'm not. I'm done. I'm working for Robert Webb now. Robert Webb Inc.
Oh, you're so selfish.
I'm so Robert Webb Inc. right now. I am a capitalist. I'm letting y'all do what y'all do. Because my thing is, man, it doesn't make sense for me to fight against people. It doesn't make sense for me to fight people to get opportunity, then fight people to take the opportunity. But I got to do all that. I mean, if you don't, why not I just take the opportunity? Why fight for it if nobody's going to take it?
Well, you might have a good point. Hey, we got to go out and take the top of the hour break. You're listening to Black Focus Radio, our issues, our solutions, our voices. Noon to 2 p.m. daily on JoinetRadio.com.
Did Tracy didn't call you?
Yes, she called me.
Can I talk to you for a moment? How many people have come up to you and said, hey, I didn't know you had a business? Yeah, that could happen.
I thought you said jellyback preachers.
I have a solution for you. Advertise on JoinetRadio.com and let the world know that you're in business.
All right, so man, as far as your sponsorship, you don't want a commercial or anything?
No, because I'm still, my partner, man, he told me he don't want to do it, but I'm still trying to talk him into doing it. I keep telling me it ain't nothing but just sponsorship.
Okay.
But he was saying he didn't want to do it because it ain't no benefit to us. Because it's not like it's not like advertising gonna help us. You know, it's not like we advertising for, like we got an apartment complex or some shit. He said it wouldn't benefit us, but I'm still wanting to do it. I know the day. But I wanted just to say, you know, DB2 Develop, sponsored by DB2 Develop. That's all I
So when will you know?
I know this afternoon. We meet at 3.
Okay.
We are here to assist you in building your brand.
Hi, I'm attorney Deodis Thompson from the Thompson Law Firm.
This is the open.
What's that for?
Just listen.
Tradition, a sacred asset woven into the fabric of all that we are. And it lives here, in the capital city, in the walls of the great Central Tiger Hive. To be remembered, to be respected, and to those who oppose it, to be feared.
All-time Arkansas. Hail to the old gold. Hail to the black. The Little Rock Central Tigers are on the air. Let's go down to Venerable Quigley Stadium and Bernie Cox Field and join former Tiger team captain and state champion David W. Coleman for all of the exciting.
Hey, that's the open for the broadcast.
Gold, gold. Hail to the black. The Little Rock Central Tigers are back on joynetradio.com.
Hope y'all like that. That's the open for the broadcast.
That's 870-246.
Tomorrow night, baby.
Call, click, or come by. MitchellFuneralServices.com. Don't wait till we're needed. Call us now. Let's walk through this together. 870-246-2611. It's quality you can appreciate and service you can depend on at Mitchell Funeral Home.
The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus Radio are not the views and opinions of the station, its management, or its advertisers. Now, let's get ready to focus on our issues, our solutions, using our voices on Black Focus Radio.
You got it. Amen. Brought to you by the Joy Network.
We were up to 25.
Welcome to Black Focus, the show designed with our community in mind, where we focus on our issues, developing our solutions, using our voices. Central Arkansas, surrounding areas, and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-5683. So here's your host, David W. Coleman and Robert Webb.
All right, welcome back to the show. Of course, if you were listening on Facebook or YouTube, you got to hear a piece of the opening for the Little Rock Central High broadcast. We just debuted that. Pretty slick, baby. We ain't playing up in here. So tomorrow night we are broadcasting the Little Rock Central first game. They're playing West Memphis at War Memorial Stadium with yours truly on the mic doing the play-by-play analysis. So we're looking forward to have that. And then throughout the rest of the season, we're going to be broadcasting all of their home football games. We need sponsors. So if you are a sponsor, a business owner, it doesn't matter how large your business is. If you want to advertise to the largest alumni in the state of Arkansas, this is an excellent opportunity for you to get in on the ground floor. And we've got some packages for everybody, okay? So get involved. Let's make this happen. There are already people saying they can't do it. There are already people saying Central people ain't going to support Central broadcast. Let's see what happens. I believe you can do it, and let's make this happen, okay? All right, so, we were talking a little bit about this. I know we said I surprised you when I said I was going to talk chicken sandwiches. You thought I was going to talk about how good and how great it was, but I flipped the script on you, and that was by design. Because if we can make that much money for a Popeyes on a weekend, we certainly can make that money for us. And we got to start figuring out how we can do that.
Go to Robertson tonight and raise the same kind of hell about what they're doing with the Little Rock school district that you're raising hell about them damn chicken sandwiches.
And by the way, where is Roberts Elementary?
Roberts Elementary is... Hold on, let me get back to this thing.
While he's finding that, Robert is actually right. That place should be packed out tonight.
16601 Lamarche Drive, Little Rock, Arkansas. It's Roberts Elementary, yeah. It starts at 6 o'clock.
Starts at 6 o'clock. So
6 to 8, public meeting.
I'm planning to come. I got a meeting at 6. Hopefully that meeting won't take too long.
Well, I'm telling you now, dog, I ain't gonna be there. I'm a capitalist. Y'all go ahead on. That's y'all thing.
See. Do as I say, but not as I did.
You know what? Because honestly, man, I don't think anybody's gonna show up because listen, why would people show up? People say my kids are already grown, my kids are graduated, they don't need me to worry about that. But you know what? You know what? Stop, man.
You can play Shanae now.
It is imperative that the conversation start about what happens with the Lower School District. Because again, there's some good black folks good white folks in this world. But it seems like the ones who are good are never the ones who are making decisions about black kids. So,
Well, I agree with you.
y'all need to get down there. If y'all want your nieces and nephews and cousins and whoever to be safe, because this is crucial.
Well, my nieces and nephews ain't going to school in Little Rock.
So you ain't gotta go. That's terrible. See what I'm talking about? See,
That's what I'm saying. That's what they say. I ain't got no kids at the Little Rock School District. Mine grown. Woo, girl, I'm so glad they grown.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
And don't have a clue that you're spending money on that school system, regardless of whether or not your kids are in it or not. Don't have a clue. That's just sad. And until we understand, that old saying it used to irritate me so bad when people say it takes a village.
It does take
That used to irritate me. You know why that irritates me? Because all you doing is saying it. You're not contributing to the damn village one bit.
They don't mean it.
If you meant it, you'd be contributing to the village. If it takes a village, then that means that you have to do anything and everything within that village to make sure that it functions properly.
You know what? When I first got into politics, I had to reprogram myself, right? I had to reprogram myself. And so if people are wanting to get into things and they don't understand that there's a transformation you gotta go through, then I can kind of see them not wanting to get involved. You gotta understand there is a transformation you have to go through, a mental transformation, because you have to think differently, right? Now, if you're gonna be like,
Are you saying knowledge of self?
no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you are.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
knowledge.
you are.
Period.
Yeah, you are. In order to have knowledge, you must have knowledge of self. Real knowledge.
Okay, ladies. Okay, Shalonda. All right, listen, Shalonda. Listen, Shalonda. You right, I apologize. Shalonda said, it's funny how you all mimic the women, but what about the brothers saying, what are the brothers saying about not attending the meetings? I'll wait. Okay, Shalonda, you right. I ain't tripping.
Why you up here mimicking the sisters, man?
I don't know.
You hating?
I ain't hating.
Is that some misogynistic undercover
I'm
stuff?
having a Donald Trump moment.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
channeling my inner Donald.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
No, but seriously. So when I think men should go to the meetings too. But let me say something though. I mean, unfortunately, women have always. Well, I shouldn't say that. Since I've been in advocacy, women have always been on the forefront. Not very often do you see men leading the charge. I mean, every so often. I mean, you got some advocates out there. You got me, you got Rozelle, of course Russ, Ian. But when you start looking at women, man, that
Oh, so you just gonna leave me out?
Well, you too, Dave. My bad.
No. Go ahead. Go on with your little funky point.
Okay. My point is that you see a lot more women who are out there leading the fight than men, unfortunately. And there are a lot more women doing it than men. And so, you look at Anika, you look at Mardella, who was here, there's a ton of women.
Yeah, we need to get her back on the show, by the way.
Mardella, yeah. And there's a ton of women who are doing it too. I just can't think of them all. But there are a ton of women that can do it. But unfortunately, you don't see a ton of men out there. You don't see a ton of brothers that show up. Now, every now and then,
And for the next 5 months, you ain't gonna get them to do jack,
Nah, it's football season.
which is sad.
Nah, it's football season. I understand that.
Woo,
But are we still boycotting the NFL?
I am. Y'all can do what you want to do, but I know what I'm gonna do.
So hold on, because Jay-Z doing his deal with them. I mean, I can watch again, right?
You can do what the hell you want to do.
No, I mean, because I think I need to watch again this year because I think my Cowboys might have a Super Bowl run, so I might need to check it out.
You can do whatever you want to do, bro.
Why you hating, dude? Why you
Just
hating?
saying.
Why you hating, Dave?
So since you bring up the NFL, let's talk about the subject we talked about Saturday on the show. Who has more courage, NFL players or NBA players?
I don't think it's about courage, Dave. I don't think it's about courage, player.
Why you
And
all,
we
you know
always,
what?
we
You're,
all
you're,
know.
You're
No,
a politician.
no, no,
You're a why
I'm
can't
not.
you just?
No, I'm not.
Why can't you just answer the
No,
question?
it's not about courage. Dave.
Okay, what is it about?
all
Roger?
about it's all about
it's
flexibility
my,
of
It's
leagues.
my question. It's
all
about courage.
It's not about courage. It's all
Okay.
about flexibility of leagues. So, Dave, if you look at the NFL, the NFL is not very flexible. They're not very flexible, right? They're not very flexible, nor are they progressive in any way. Now, if you look at the NBA, Adam Silver, even before a little bit with David Stern, they were a little bit more liberal, right? But they are not that way. You know what the perfect thing? I'm gonna give you the perfect analogy. NFL, Republicans. It's the Republican Party. NBA, the
Republican Party.
Democratic Party.
Republican Party.
Quasi-democratic party.
Those I would argue that based on the owners and their socioeconomic backgrounds, Republicans.
If Tom Brady was black and he acted like LeBron James, we'd be saying the same thing about the NFL that you say about the NBA. Unfortunately, Tom Brady ain't black.
Now that you done took us all around by Sally's house.
Okay. I answered the question.
Will you answer the question?
I answered the question.
Who has more courage, the NFL or the NBA?
I don't think it's about courage, Dave.
Okay.
How can you make okay? So what you're trying to say is that because of the actions of the NFL or the NBA players, because they wear the hoods and they do all this stuff. But think about who their biggest star is. Their biggest star is a black man. Who is the NFL's biggest star? Who is it? Tom Brady. He's a white man.
Okay.
Big difference, Dave. Now, if Tom Brady was to don a hoodie.
Did you ever play Battleship?
Yeah.
I'm gonna sink your Battleship in just a moment. Go right ahead.
If he was to ever put on a hoodie that said, Trayvon, then yeah, guess what? Yeah, it might be a different league. But brother, you talk as though that there are these two leagues are starkly different, and they're not.
You're right, they're not.
I mean, Craig Hodges. Do I have to remind you of Craig Hodges? Do I have to remind you of Chris Jackson?
Who is Chris Jackson?
Abdul Rauf.
Mahmoud Abdul.
Same damn thing. We get
No,
the same
why you
damn
gonna
thing.
disrespect the man's name?
I ain't disrespecting Chris.
God, his name ain't
I ain't
Chris.
disrespecting Chris.
I'm sorry, my brothers, my Muslim brothers.
I ain't
Assalamu alaikum.
I ain't disrespecting my Lord. But my point is,
Bring me a bean pie.
my point is very simple. That you,
Have you ever eaten a bean pie?
yeah, I'm a big pie lover.
They're actually pretty darn good.
They are
For a long time, I wouldn't eat them because I'm like, bean pies.
Big
Ugh.
pies are the bomb.
They are really good. But anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, you've had casualties in the NBA just like you had in the NFL. I think Kaepernick is our latest casualty. But you had Craig Hodges before. You had I can't even say Maud. Am I saying it right?
Mahmoud
Abdul Rauf.
Yes.
He was the latest casualty. But again, the biggest player, the biggest star in the NBA is a black man by the name of LeBron James.
True.
And that brother is socially conscious. And that brother is always the one who's pushing the envelope. And these other cats say, well, hey, if LeBron can do it, then we can do it.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, you let Tom Brady put a hoodie on. If Tom Brady does it, then all the other cats will say, well, if Tom do it, we can do it. Because Tom is the biggest star in the NFL.
Okay. So
All right.
let me debunk that first.
Okay, I'm listening.
How many players are there that are black in the NFL? I'll answer that question for
How many what?
you. 70% of the players in the NFL are black.
70%?
Yes.
Okay.
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 So,
Name me the biggest black star in the NFL.
well, let me finish my point.
Okay.
I'll let you ramble on like a little cockroach a few minutes ago.
Oh,
All right?
cockroach now. Okay.
Yeah,
That's how niggas do.
and a black cockroach is that, you know.
That's how niggas do. A black cockroach. Okay, go ahead.
So there's power in numbers.
Okay.
So regardless of who may be the biggest person, if all 70% of those black players decided that this is what we want to do, then how quickly would things change? The problem with the NFL is that those Negroes in the NFL
They have little courage and they have no unity. That's why they have the worst union of all of the professional sports, because they have no unity. Last time they had a lockout, it was the players who knuckled under. Not the owners, the players. So when you talk about courage, they have none. Their courage extends as far as their next game check. That's the problem with them. That's why the NFL owners run roughshod over them. So let me give you prima facie evidence for NBA players. Okay? 2012, Trayvon Martin was killed. Who led the charge to wear hoodies across the league? LeBron James. Now, how strong would that have been if LeBron James only did it?
It still would have been huge.
But it wouldn't have had the effect that it did have for the coming years. Because if LeBron James is the only one wearing the hoodie, he has no power in numbers. Okay?
LeBron's whole team wore the hoodie.
But that's my point.
The opposing team
wore the hoodie. But what I'm saying is, what if they would have went to LeBron and say, man, I'm not doing that.
Dude, you gonna say it to LeBron?
You get...
Are you gonna say it to LeBron?
Well, you have the right to do that. They didn't. But the point is, what if they would have? Then LeBron would have been an island. Okay? In 2014, Daniel Sterling was revealed as the racist that many people already knew he was. Daniel Sterling was the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers.
Okay, so the same happened with Richardson. They got rid of Richardson.
Hang on a minute. Can I finish my point?
Please make your point.
Okay.
Please make
All
your
right.
point.
Thank you very much. So what happened? This was during the playoffs, by the way. Okay, a lot of people forget that it was Golden State playing the Los Angeles Clippers in the playoffs. And I'm going to be honest with you. I just learned a lot more about this situation by watching the 30 for 30, the Sterling tapes. Did you know that there were over 100 racist tapes that Daniel Sterling had made? And the ones that were just exposed by V. Stefano were just a few. Did you also know that both players on the Golden State Warriors as well as the Los Angeles Clippers were about to boycott the rest of the playoffs?
Just so you know, Dave, you and all your bougie people agree with you. Just so y'all know. All the bougie people agree, Dave, and that's cool. I'm mad.
So why you are mad. See how you get your little attitude?
No, I'm not mad, Dave. I'm not mad, Dave.
Roach your little eyes. Come on, man.
I'm not mad, Dave.
So if I may finish my point before you get just...
Yeah, go ahead.
So did a lot of people don't know this, but did you know that the Clippers, the black players on the Clippers and the black players on the Golden State Warriors was about to boycott Game 5 of the NBA playoffs? Did you know that?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't either.
I just talked to LeBron. He was telling me about it.
See? Well, call LeBron. Tell him I need some shoes. My point being is that was, and then they go to LeBron, and nothing had been done up until this point. And what did LeBron say? We don't need that kind of stuff in our league.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the fact that you had players that were going to boycott the playoffs, and you had the signature leader of those players saying we don't need that stuff in our league. The NBA, Adam Silver, by the way, had just been on the job about a few weeks. They moved and they changed the outcome, and now what you're seeing is a better league as opposed to the NFL. The NFL players have no guts. They refuse to stand together, and because all they had to do, think about it, when this controversy first broke, all they had to do, if all of them didn't stand with Kaepernick, if half of them would have stood with Kaepernick, this thing would have been over. But instead, they knuckled under. Okay? They knuckled under. But when NBA players...
There were tons of guys dealing with Kaepernick.
There
were tons of guys.
So where are they now?
Still in the league.
Exactly.
There were tons of guys.
Okay? So if all of them would have said, hey, I'm gonna stand with Kaepernick. If you're gonna suspend Kaepernick, you're gonna suspend us. That would have nipped this in the bud, and that would have shown their power. They could have exercised and shown the league, those owners, hey, we really do have power. Consequently, what happened? They knuckled under, they turned up their cheeks, and they ended up getting dogged. And they're about, look, and next year, while y'all are celebrating the NFL, them owners are going to lock those players out, and those players are going to knuckle under because they have no power. And they succeeded their power because they refused to stand up.
Hold on, let's go back, because I think it's important. Because what you're doing now, I think is unfair. And that's you're doing right now. You're doing a Roland Martin. That just ain't cool.
Okay.
Right? You're doing a Roland Martin right now.
Wait a minute.
You're trying to divide black folk. You're trying to say the black folk that play football are not as strong as the black folk that play basketball. I think that's complete garbage. Now, the thing is,
what have NFL players done to the move for the movement?
Listen to you, Dave.
What, as a group, collectively as a group? As a matter of fact, I remember them circumventing Colin Kaepernick, Malcolm Jenkins. I remember them circumventing Colin Kaepernick, all of those other players, to go and run up to the league and say, hey, this is what we want. So tell me what they've done. Tell me. I'm listening. Okay, I'm going to be quiet.
So let's be logical about this thing. Let's just be logical for a second, okay?
Oh, so you said I'm not logical.
I'm saying you're not logical right now, Dave.
Okay.
I'm saying, Dave, unfortunately, I love you very much.
See, why are you going to call? No, don't be
you.
patronizing me.
You,
I hate you. I hate you.
I love you very much, black man, but you're not being logical right now. And this is why I say you're not being logical. The average life of an NFL football player is 5 years if they're lucky. Some people say it's 2 years, depending on position, right?
It's about the same for NBA player too.
No. The span of time is longer, right? Not only that, in the NFL, you only got 2 years to make you only got 3 years to make your real money.
4.
Okay, 4, whatever you want to say. You got a finite amount of time to make the real money. In the NBA, it's a lot different.
Why is that,
It's
Robert?
a lot different. You have a lot
Who
more.
negotiated those contracts, Robert?
That's not, Dale, you gonna let me make my point or not?
Okay, cool.
My point is that NFL players understand how quickly their NFL careers could be over with injury. And so, you know what? Do they really want to take on an issue like kneeling? Do they really want to take on an issue like officer-involved shootings? Do they really want to take on an issue like that? But let me ask you this question.
Do you know who Thabo Steffelosha is?
This is even a better question. This is even a better question for you. Even a better one for you.
Okay.
Name me one issue that the black community itself has taken on wholeheartedly. Name me one. Name me one issue that right now today that you can point to and say, the black, other than chicken sandwiches, point to me something that the black community, with all the issues we have in the black community, name me one issue that the black community is working collectively
Police
to address.
brutality.
Where, Dave?
Black Lives Matter.
How much money have they contributed?
I don't know, but they're doing it.
No, they're not.
Why you hating on them?
Why? Because you
told me to name one, I named one, and now you want to criticize.
That ain't true.
Okay.
How they working on it collectively?
Okay.
How?
They're working on it politically.
How?
Through politicians,
How?
through legislation.
Through white politicians or black politicians?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
They're still working on it.
How?
So now you're saying because they're not working on it the way you think it
Damn
be.
right. Damn right. I'm glad you got that point out there.
All right.
Because let me tell you something. There's a difference between working.
You asked me a question. I asked.
No, you didn't answer the question. You just threw out something. He had answered.
You hate it when I can answer your question.
No, you didn't answer my question.
At least I answered your question.
You did not answer
I don't
my
give
question.
you political answers.
I gave you an answer.
You give me a political
Unfortunately, it was not
answer.
the answer you wanted, but I gave you a very good
That's
answer.
what a politician would say.
I gave you a very good answer. Now, the thing that's really complicated right now is that with all the issues we have in the black community, we are not challenging our elected officials to work together collectively to address them. And that's unfortunate because we have.
How does that make NFL players have more?
Because NFL players say, "Hey, if y'all ain't gonna work on it collectively, why should we be a part of it?" There's no collective unity amongst black folks on nothing. There's nothing we can agree. And I'm not saying we're supposed to agree on everything.
The NBA players don't say that.
Say what?
Thank goodness they don't say, "Well, y'all ain't working on it. They ain't gonna work it out either."
So that's what they saying?
That's what you sounded like. NBA players say those issues are our issues.
Wow.
We're gonna work to make things better, and we're gonna lead. We're gonna lead. We're not gonna follow.
Okay.
We're not gonna knuckle under.
So look
We're
at
not
it
gonna
this way.
turn up our cheeks.
Look at it this way. As a black capitalist, if I'm a black capitalist and I'm playing football for the Dallas Cowboys, my team, what's up, Cowboys? I'm playing for the Dallas Cowboys, and somebody comes to me and says, hey, dog, now mind you, I'm making $5 million a year. They come to me and say, hey, dog, we're going to kneel tonight. I'm going to say, what y'all kneeling for? Oh, we kneeling for black on black crime. Why y'all doing that? Because we kneeling for black on black crime. It's important, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go ahead and kneel. I'll catch y'all later. You know why I ain't kneeling?
Because you have no guts.
Because right now, that's your hot spot. Right now, you want to talk about it. But pretty soon, somebody going to come around and co-opt the whole thing, and then you're just going to completely forget about it. 'Cause
Man, you are such a cynic.
Black folk, we are not consistent in these movements.
So,
No, we are not.
So how can we ever get consistent when we meet people like you who are
How's
gonna
it me?
be shooting
I've been
our
out here-
ideas
I've been out here
down?
fighting the good fight
Well,
for 15
good,
years.
well, good for you.
I
So you
have
shouldn't be
seen
hating
up
on
close
other
and
people
personal.
who gonna come out here and want to fight the good fight.
I'm not hating.
Just a hater,
I'm
man.
just saying that if you came to me, I would not be kneeling with your ass. You would be kneeling by your damn self because I ain't finna be kneeling with you. I'm not finna lose my $5 million so you can go, you know what, Rob? Man, we didn't think that was gonna happen. But hey, man, I gotta go because I gotta go to practice.
You know who Thabo Cephalosha is?
No, sounds like it's an inherited disease. Is it an STD?
How can I soar with eagles when I work?
Is it an
turkeys?
STD? I'm asking a question. That's what it
Thabo
sounds
Cephalosha is.
like. Oh, he played for Oklahoma City.
He played for the New York Knicks
At Oklahoma City.
at one point.
He sounds like an inherited disease. I got
Okay,
cephalosis.
okay.
Hey doctor, can you give me some penicillin? I need to take some of my
Oh,
cephalosis.
thank God Cliff isn't here. Oh, thank you. All right. So, Thabo Cephalosha was racially profiled
Okay.
by the New York Police Department.
Okay.
They jumped him, they beat him up, and they broke his leg.
Really? When did this happen?
You didn't know about this?
No, when did this happen?
This happened a couple of years ago. Thabo Cephalosha is not from America.
No, that's true.
Okay, he's from Greece, if I remember correctly. So they jumped him, they beat him up, and they broke his leg.
Okay.
And he missed damn near a full season. Thabo Cephalosha had no idea about police brutality, racial profiling, any of that.
You're
Because
saying that when he got his butt whooped, that changed everything.
that changes how you view things.
Okay, I dig that.
Okay?
I dig that.
Because
I dig
when if Thabo Cephalosha speaks to you, it will be pretty clear he's not an American.
that. Okay.
Okay? But because he had brown skin to the New York Police Department, he was still a nigger. Okay? So my point being is
Maybe he should change his name for Cephalosha. They probably thought he was playing when they asked what his name was, and he said Cephalosha. They were probably saying, "Dude, that's a venereal disease. Stop playing." So maybe he should change his name. Maybe he should just change his
I come
name.
here, I try to put together
Maybe he should
a
change
good
his
show.
name.
I try to put together a good show every day
Topocephalosis?
You
Come
know,
on, tell me that don't sound like a venereal
with
disease.
with good topics, with conversation.
Dr. Coleman, Robert Webb's here, and he needs to see you because he has cephalosis. He needs some
Okay.
prescription.
Okay.
Come on, tell me that don't sound like a venereal disease.
Okay.
Seriously.
It sounds like a venereal disease.
Okay.
If that would get you
Let's
off the
move
show.
on. Let's move forward. Let's move forward, please.
Anyhow,
All right, here we go.
the point being is that to say that, oh, I'm making my $5 million, it ain't gonna happen to me.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
If I may
Why am I
finish
going to
my
be the one
point.
that sacrifices when nobody else is willing to sacrifice? Because as we know collectively, black folks aren't always willing to sacrifice. Now,
Black NFL players aren't willing to sacrifice. Black NBA players are.
we're not talking about just them. We're talking about black. We're talking about the black community as a
No,
whole.
we're talking about
The black community ain't
well,
sacrificing. Are they? Are they?
no, they're not. But
Okay,
the
so
point
why should
being-
I sacrifice for them when they ain't trying to sacrifice for themselves? See, that's where it goes. Now this is the
So-
thing. Hold on. This is the thing, though, right? Now I started boycotting the NFL because they didn't get copyright contract, right? But you know, the more I thought about that, that was really stupid. we should have done something more significant than just boycott, right? Because we should have started a GoFundMe page for Cap, right? We should have done all the things. We just did the low hanging fruit. We just went after the thing about not.
So you don't think the boycott worked?
I think the boycott was successful. I don't think it was successful. No, because
rationale. You know why Jay-Z was sitting at the table with Goodell?
You're missing it. My rationale for boycotting was because I wanted Kaepernick to get a job, right? So for me, no, the protest has not been successful.
I would agree with you on that.
My ultimate goal was for him to get a contract, right? But when we start talking about black folks as a whole, we talking about black folks overall, and we just can't narrow it down to the NBA and NFL. We got to talk black folks collectively. So a white man kills a police officer. They start a GoFundMe page. By the end of the night, he got almost $200,000. Get that right? Mm-hmm. Black man gets killed by a police officer. They start a GoFundMe page for the guy who got killed. He might have $2,000 by the end of the night. Now, explain to me the difference. Now, people say, well, you know what, Robert? You got police officers who are contributing to the GoFundMe page. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. And all over the United States, you probably got 1.2 million officers. Let's just say that. I don't even think it's that many, but let's just say that, right?
Okay.
You got 13 million black folks if everybody gave $1. Dude, come on, man. This is craziness. Don't talk to me about them not having courage when the black community collectively has courage. Then let's have a conversation. But we are not connected from the top down at all.
Why do NBA players do what they do and NFL players don't?
Hell, I don't know.
Because the NBA players have more courage than NFL.
I don't think it has anything to do with courage. I think it has to do with one simple thing.
It does.
The biggest star in the NBA is a black man by the name of LeBron James.
LeBron James he makes no difference.
How so?
If nobody supports him, he makes no difference.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jim Brown back in the day, Muhammad Ali
back in the day,
and Paul Robeson. When they took that picture together, man, I wasn't born when they took that picture. But every time I see that picture,
I heard you took the picture.
You are funny, Dave. You are funny. You are so funny. My point is that picture was so powerful that these were the brothers who were the tops in their sports at the time. They were all together singing from the same hymnal. You get that, right? Now, who would you consider to be the biggest, blackest star in the NFL? Name that guy. Who would you consider to be that biggest, blackest star in the NFL?
There isn't one.
You don't think there's one guy who stands out above all others in the NFL right now?
Nope.
Not one NFL star?
Nope.
Saquon Barkley? No.
Nope. You tell me.
Zeke?
Nope.
Amari?
Nope. You're making my point, bro. Appreciate it.
No, I mean, that's got to be one black star. But
you can't name one.
But my point is, if you had a black
star
can't
name one.
Who was carrying the NFL like Tom Brady's carrying the NFL, then yeah, if he did that, you have brothers who will be united around that brother. But you got that in the NBA. You got that with LeBron. And you got all these other brothers who come from these communities. But not only that, you got general managers who understand the conditions of the communities that these guys come out of, because a lot of them themselves have come from some of these very same communities. Because this is the misconception we always make when it comes to NBA players. We always assume the black guys come from the worst neighborhoods and the white guys come from the best neighborhoods. And that's just not always true. You got black guys who come from just as bad, who come from poor or worse conditions than white guys. And we should stop making those stereotypes that these guys don't understand. I think there's a lot of elements that come into play when you start talking about NBA players. NBA players, totally different ball game. Totally different. Totally.
By the way, since you brought up that picture, it was just more than Muhammad Ali and Jim Brown. They were actually protesting for Muhammad Ali. You had Jim Brown. It took place June 4th, 1967.
You were 15 then, right?
To show support for the Muhammad Ali's refusal.
You were 20 then?
to fight in the Vietnam. I'm trying to give a little history, if you don't mind, Robert. Those present were Bill Russell, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Lou Alcindor, who, of course, later changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Carl Stokes, Walter Beach, Bobby Mitchell, Sid Williams, Curtis McClinton, Willie Davis, Jim Shorter, and John Wooten.
You got track and field coverage, you got baseball coverage, you got football coverage,
Exactly.
basketball, and you talking about guys who at that time
Had no money, had no power, but understood that if they stood together as one,
they had power now.
right, because they stood together as one. That this, you just set this up on the tee, bro. You just proved my point.
What's that?
Is that these athletes ran cross sports and understood that there was a problem, and they decided, look, they had no union back then. You got to understand this. Okay,
Yeah, but
they had no powerful union.
They still, right now, we're talking about collectively. Collectively, we have no message collectively.
I agree with all
There's
of
no
that.
collective message.
But
And all your black officials who live in the very same neighborhoods we speak of, who live in these very same neighborhoods, now, mind you, the street they live on might not be as blighted as the street you live on, but nonetheless, they live in these same damn neighborhoods. And so the question I ask everyone is, how are you allowing your elected officials not to work together collectively to address the issues of your community?
that's an excellent, and that should be something that we ought to be bringing to them. But back to the original premise: who has more courage,
Neither one day.
NBA players
Neither one day.
or NFL players?
Neither day.
And the prima facie evidence, proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it is NBA players.
You just wanted to be NBA players for LeBron.
They are not afraid to stand up. They are not afraid to speak their minds. They are not afraid to do anything that it relates to social justice. It is NBA players. And that's just the bottom line of it. NFL players have no guts. And part of it is because they have a weak union.
NBA players?
No, NFL has the weakest union out there. They've already started telling NFL players there's going to be a walkout. There's going to be a lockout next year. You need to start saving your money. And part of the reason when the last lockout took place, part of the reason that the players had the owners over a barrel then. But you know why they came back? It's because there were players complaining that they don't have money. They're losing money. They have no guts, man. That's why Jerry Jones can tell Zeke, although I'm running you to death, I'm just going to pay you what I think I should pay you. You need to fit into my system. Huh? That's the silliness behind that. Even though Dak Prescott demands at least $34 million, not because he's the best quarterback, but that's what the market bears. Jerry Jones tells him, hey, you need to take what I'm going to give you so you can fit into the Dallas system. And then, if you do that, you'll be able to make more money after the fact. They don't do that in the NBA. They simply say, this is my worth, this is how much you paying me. And that's the bottom line. So, back to my original premise. NFL players have more power and have more guts than NBA players. NBA players have more power and more guts than NFL players. Also, in other news, so what would happen, you think, if there was a big tornado or a big hurricane and we fired a nuclear bomb into it? Robert? What would happen if there's a hurricane and it was headed towards the United States and we fired a nuclear bomb into it? A cruise missile.
Stop.
Hmm?
We're not doing that.
Really? So where do you think I got this from?
Pretty good, man.
Well, I'll just read you the story, Robert. Thanks for asking. Your president, Donald Trump, suggested firing nuclear weapons into hurricanes to prevent them from hitting the United States. The president is said to have raised the idea of bombing hurricanes with senior Homeland Security officials on numerous occasions. I got it. I got it. Why don't we just nuke them? Hello? The source said the briefer was knocked back on his heels as Mr. Trump went on to suggest dropping a nuclear bomb in the eye of an offshore hurricane to disrupt its formation. People were astonished. After the meeting ended, we thought, what the blank? What do we do with this? The briefer said to have told the president they would look into it was a possibility. Later, other officials were also reportedly briefed on the president's remarks, which were recorded at the NSC in a NSC memorandum. Another NSC memo from 2017 also reportedly details Mr. Trump asking whether hurricanes could be bombed with conventional weapons in order to prevent them from hitting the U.S. His goal to keep a catastrophic hurricane from hitting the mainland is not bad. His objective is not bad. So there you go, bro. Let's just bomb the hell out of it. And let's forget about the nuclear fallout that's going to happen after those bombs drop. Let's forget about how it's going to radioactively poison the ocean for 50 years. And anything that's eaten out of that ocean will be worthless. I'm just saying. 855-525-5683 is the number. That's how you get in touch with me. In another story, Arkansas, home of supremacist groups, weighs hate crimes law. Did you know that Arkansas was one of only 3 states that did not have hate crime law?
Yes.
How'd you know? You didn't know.
Yes.
You just one of them bougie smart Negroes, aren't you?
No, I'm sick with a bougie smart Negro.
Well, apparently, Arkansas is one of them. And as I've told you before, there are close to, or over 8,000 white supremacists who call Arkansas their home. And if it's 8,000 that's been identified, there's probably about 12,000. Okay? So it's curious that they don't have a hate crime law. But nonetheless, Arkansas is one of not 3 states, but 4 states without a specific hate crime law. Now that reticence is given away, one of the political tremors felt across the nation after the recent attacks, Republican Governor Asa Hutchinson, who was a federal prosecutor, wore a bulletproof vest to negotiate the end of the siege with the covenant, the sword and the arm of the Lord. What siege? Has called on lawmakers to approve harsher penalties. Is he pandering? So now Asa wants to, although he hasn't said anything about the 8,000 white supremacists that lives in Arkansas, that calls the good old natural state their home, who lives up in the Ozarks in the woods. Now he wants to claim he wants hate crime legislation. According to this, we've seen a resurgence of white supremacy dialogue, of conversation, and I know enough from the 80s that when you have that conversation and increased dialogue, some people are going to take it to the extreme and act on it, according to what your governor said. Does that make you proud?
What's that?
That your governor wants to do something?
You mean around hate legislation?
Yeah.
That make me proud. That make me proud anyway. I mean, we had 2 Democratic governors beforehand, and we still have no hate legislation. So don't put it on him.
Well,
let's
didn't they have a Republican House and Senate?
Did they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There you
It
go.
doesn't matter. No, you had a Democratic House and Senate. BB had a Democratic House. His first term, he had a Democratic House. His house started to change, and his house changed. It's short a little bit.
Right.
He had a Democratic
Right.
House and Senate.
Right.
He had a Democratic House and Senate when he started. But
Just
when he
because you
finished, he didn't.
identify as a Democrat don't mean you're going to vote Democrat.
But see, you always make this. This is what bothers me about you, David. Oh, the bougie
Wow.
David.
Robert, nothing bothers me about you.
Whatever. Stop. So you want to make the assumption that because they're Democrat, they are sensitive to the needs of the community.
No,
and I disagree with that.
I never
I
said
totally
that.
disagree with
I never
that.
said that. How many times have I said on this show that a right wing and a left wing is part of the same bird?
So how can you sit there and say? I mean, because the legislation. I mean, you mean to tell me that no person? I think we got to bring Joyce on here. Joyce can give us. I mean, Senator Ellen give us a bit of understanding.
They would not have. They would not look. Those white Democrats who live in rural Arkansas wasn't going to vote for hate crime legislation no more than the white Republicans.
Why wouldn't they? So you're saying they commit a lot of hate crimes?
Because a left
Are you saying they
wing
commit a lot of hate
and
crimes?
a right wing
Are you saying they commit
is,
a lot of hate crimes?
is part of the same bird.
Are you saying Republicans commit a lot
I'm
of hate
going
crimes?
Left wing.
Are you saying Republicans?
I'm going to
commit a lot
answer
of
the
hate crimes?
question like Robert Webb would.
Are you
do.
saying
A
Republicans commit a lot of
left
crimes?
wing and a right wing is part of the same bird?
Man,
I'm just
you
saying.
you are not being forthcoming right now.
According to Harry Bayridge, once they get a toehold, people follow them in there. Okay? And she's referring to the remote wooded areas. The group tracked 14 hate groups in Arkansas alone last year. Harrison leaders insist the city's reputation is being unfairly tarnished by a small group of people. They posted "Love Thy Neighbor" billboards in response to the racist signs and even held a mock funeral to bury racism.
Who did this?
The Harrison city leaders, because they are, look, I've said this over and over again. I personally believe that part of the reason Arkansas can't get recruits is because of what them billboards.
I sure hope so.
Now, let me be honest. There's racism in Alabama, Georgia, all across the spectrum. But when you are so in your face with it, so if I'm a recruiter, here's what I do. I go to mom and daddy, and maybe little Johnny is thinking about going to play for the Razorbacks, okay? I just go out on the internet and say, this is where your son is going to be going to school. And I show all that racism and bigotry, those billboards that's in Harrison, Arkansas. What are the odds mom and daddy going to look at little Johnny and say, you know, son, I just don't feel comfortable.
Ain't likely. Because you know why? Ain't likely. They're going to send their little poor black baby on down there.
But they're not.
Yes, they are.
They're
you
not.
make this assumption that black folks have some kind of higher
When was the last?
moral something.
When
we
was?
don't. We don't.
What
We don't. We
I
aren't.
do. I'm
We
sorry,
aren't.
you don't.
We aren't.
When was the last time Arkansas got a 5-star black player?
I don't know.
It don't happen. It ain't happened in a while. If I want to say,
Chad don't change that. Chad and Musselman gonna change all that, man. Didn't you know that, Dave? Did you not get the press? Did you not get the memo?
where did Chad coach before he came to Arkansas?
Texas. Did you not get the memo?
Where in Texas?
Was it Dallas?
He coached at SMU.
Yeah, in Dallas.
What was the record of them in SMU? Did they go to a bowl game? No. Were they above 5? In the 3 years he coached at SMU, were they above 500?
I don't know.
No.
David don't
So
matter. David
if
don't
you
matter.
can't
The
win,
Razorbacks brought him here, Dave.
if
He's
you
incredible,
can't
Dave.
win
He's
at a
incredible.
sorry school,
He's incredible.
at a sorry conference,
He's incredible.
what makes you think you're gonna come to Arkansas
He
in the
is
SEC and win?
Incredible, Dave. He is incredible, Dave.
Okay.
And Musselman. What you gotta say about Musselman? You can't say nothing about him, Dave. He did great when he was at whatever college he was at before he came here. He did.
Exactly.
He did
Exactly.
No, but he did.
What was the name of it?
Nevada. He was at Nevada.
Okay.
was
What
just
conference
kidding.
was that in?
Who gives the damn conference?
Exactly.
But Dave, he did really well.
Okay.
He did really
So
well. But Dave, no, seriously, he took his team to
hey.
the Sweet 16.
Wow.
He took a Nevada team to the Sweet 16.
Wow.
That before they even went to the Sweet 16, they had no NBA prospects.
Wow.
So I mean, you got to get that guy something, man. And from what I hear, he's building a hell of a team up on the hill right now. He's pulling in some really incredible guys. Now, the biggest feat that he pulled off was getting Scotty Thurman the head coaching job at Parkview. That's pretty impressive. What?
So why couldn't Scotty help continue coaching for the Razorbacks?
They didn't want him.
Okay.
They didn't want him.
Apparently not. I'm just saying.
They did not want that
But
cat.
back to my point is that if I'm recruiting, and recruiting, believe it or not, is a dog eat dog world. All right? I'm going to use everything I can. So if my college is in a town that has Ku Klux Klan members, and those Ku Klux Klan members are buying billboards to the point of saying, keep your black so-and-so out, I'm not gonna send my child to that school. I'm just saying.
And why is that?
Why would I?
Well, but see, Dave, you are the exception. You are not the rule, my friend. I'm sorry. Guess what? Black kids, yeah, their parents sending them.
But they're not.
Yes, they are.
They're not getting any 5-star
Oh,
players.
to Arkansas, yeah. What are they gonna let them go there for? No.
That's exactly.
But okay, it's just saying Arkansas.
Even Arkansas players,
based on your premise,
even 5-star Arkansas players are not going to Arkansas.
and that has more to do with the way they've treated Nolan and Houston Nutt than it has to do with anything else. I know me for myself for a fact. Now they hired Mike Anderson back, and that made my heart flutter, right? But then you just fired him. I mean, and you just fired the guy. I mean, come on, man.
So you're giving me more ammunition to talk to kids about why not going to Arkansas. My point being is that the attitude in Fayetteville and Harrison County and that area is that this is lily white land, and we don't want you here except to but dance and form and shake a jig.
Oh God, I gotta read this.
Uh-oh.
This is, well, I guess we non-sports fans will have to tune out because y'all must have forgotten this is not a sports program. My bad, T.
This is not a sports. This is not a sports conversation. This is about racist Harrison, Arkansas. T. Gosh, so sensitive. Robert, your friends are just, I brought the story up because we were talking about hate crime legislation in Arkansas. Is that okay? Is that okay?
I love the Cowboys. I love the Cowboys.
Oh, will you stop? You just did that because JC walked in
they heard
there.
my cry.
You did. Don't put
Yes,
that.
sir, baby.
Oh,
Let
God,
us see
will
that.
you
Let us see
stop
that. Let us see
it.
that, Jay. Yeah, Cowboys, Jay. The Cowboys in the house. Okay, we're not going to talk no more sports. Other than the Cowboys are the greatest team. Our America's team. That's why they put the thing in the ceiling so God can watch and play the games. That's what's up, man. All right, okay. So, we only got 6 minutes left.
You know they no longer have that hole in the roof.
Oh, yeah, it's still retractable. He still can see.
Okay.
He made that request to
All
Jerry
right.
Jones. He called Jerry and said, Jerry, this is God. Please put the roof down.
So what you're saying is that Jerry Jones and God have a one-on-one relationship.
Might as well. Jerry Fowler had a one-on-one with it.
Well,
All
yeah.
the white preachers have a one-on-one relationship with God. The black
Well,
ones don't.
well, you got to say that Donald Trump did say he was the second coming last week. So maybe you got a point there.
Hallelujah.
Since we're talking about sports, I want to take my hat off to Dale Earnhardt Jr. If you don't know, last
Because the plane
week,
crashed and he didn't die? What's up with that?
will you just let
What
me
kind
finish?
of brother are you? You giving the guy props because he didn't die? Really?
If you let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Last week, if you didn't know, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was almost killed along with his wife and child in a plane crash. Fortunately, they never took flight. The plane ran off the runway. There were some minor injuries. But this is why I although you all may not follow NASCAR, I do follow NASCAR. I like racing, believe it or not. And Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I have another text for you.
Has, and this is an old story, but just a reminder, Dale Earnhardt Jr. agrees that the Confederate flag, it's offensive to an entire race of people. So there you go. Now, what text you have for me? I just thought I'd throw that out there for,
Okay, 1 second, David Coleman. I'm going to read you something, David. I thought it was really good for you. It says, yes, okay, talk about racism, but please find another example to use. D.
Another example to use other than what?
Other than a sports metaphor, she said. I'm loving today, Dave. Oh
So
my God.
why would I need to do that when in fact that racism is, and we've said this, and I'm going to say this again, girls and boys. Everybody listen, okay? Racism is a social construct, okay? And what that means is that it is built into the fabric of this nation. It is built into the social and economic structure of this nation. So anything that we talk about as it relates to racism is because racism is in it. Woo,
Are
sir.
you done?
Yes, I'm done. I'm
Okay,
done.
I just like to say for the record that you're sexist.
Okay, thank you.
And you're racist.
Okay.
And you're a bigot.
No, sorry.
And Dave.
No.
Dave, you hate black people.
Okay.
That was my Kanye West impression.
Was you supposed to be dropping the mic?
Yeah.
You
Didn't do
I hope you got money to pay for them.
Conway, yes. Conway, yes. I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Conway, yes. Conway Twitty.
David Coleman, you are a racist.
Okay.
Hey, we know what we supposed to be making our racism of the week. We haven't racism of the week. We haven't done it. We need to do that.
Did you read the story about the doctor?
Which one?
The white doctor who admitted that he hated blacks, Jews, and Latinos?
Did later find out that he was one?
No. He worked in the ER.
Really? What
You haven't
ER he
heard this
work
story?
in? No, what ER he worked in?
This doctor,
I make
he
sure I don't go in there.
he worked at Herman Hospital, Houston Memorial Herman Hospital in Houston.
He still got a job?
Emergency room physician assistant Carl Simon was deposed about his white supremacist and hateful rhetoric. My sources have revealed to me that he is still treating patients at Houston Memorial Herman Hospital. This is not a drill. As I said a few seconds ago,
Let's see what happens. Let's see what black people do.
that racism is a social construct. It is involved in everything that we do.
But let's see what black people do. Because black people too tired to do anything right now. They're too tired.
Well,
Tired.
again, if you want to change the system,
What you say? Dave, do you like black people? Dave, do you really like black people? Deep down in places nobody can see that. Do you really like black people?
that is just a dumb question.
So
Of
that's-
course.
So that's enough.
It's a yes. I love me some black folk.
How many do you love?
2 or 3.
Okay, that's cool.
At least they black.
Kind of, sort of.
You know, it's better than some of y'all don't love any of them. Do you, Robert?
I just love all my students.
Yeah.
I love you just because. Black people.
I don't know about all that. But anyway. Oh my goodness. Folks, I'm sorry about Robert. I think he still has cliff-itis.
It's just important that black folk know. It's just important they know. It's important they know
Know what?
that they black. You gotta fight. You gotta fight this fight, y'all. Y'all gotta get up and fight this fight. Y'all can't keep laying down. Get up, fight, fight back. Spend money in your own community, because if you don't, sure ain't nobody else gonna do it. Peace.
Show ain't no.
Sure ain't no.
Okay. You're definitely from the country.
Just showing y'all know.
All right, so let me see here. Oh, let's do Adam Clayton Powell as our close for today. I think you all will like this. Y'all have a great day.
I went to St. Louis, Missouri the other day. Black Panthers from all over the country. No one knew about it at all. They had machine guns, recoilless rifles, grease guns, Lugers, 25 of them, all armed. And the chief of police met me at the airport when I arrived, and they were there, right there at the steps. He said, you were violating the law. Yeah, we're violating the law. He said, we're tired of our white and black leaders, Jackie and Martin and Bobby, being killed. We're going to protect this man while he's here. They didn't arrest one of them. Because they said if you arrest one, then someone's going to die, because we are ready to kill. Black power means black dignity. Just as surely as you're proud to be white, we're proud to be black. Black is beautiful, baby. It's pretty. I always say to my brothers, I say, baby, don't worry about the white chicks. We got everything from chalk to charcoal in our own race. You see? Black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. Black power means dignity. Means we're going to walk side by side with you, or through you. We're going to be with dignity and integrity. We don't want any more than you have, and we're not going to accept any less than you have. That's back up.
You've been listening to Black Focus, where we
That's how to play pow, bro.
with our solutions.
He said you cut out black leaders.
Join us every weekday afternoon at 1 p.m. on joinetradio.com.